Greetings, BUSN 1360 Software Applications for Business. Students of this 2019 spring semester, welcome. This is me, I'm Dr. Joan McGrory, and I'm the instructor for the class. And welcome, I'm glad to have you here. I thought that I would just take a moment and, familiarize you, introduce you to the class so that you get a good foundation as we're going forward. I'd like to start out, as you probably already know, by saying this is our course management system. It's a Desire to Learn, or we commonly call it PAWS here at the college. And I do have some information on this first page, if you scroll down, including our course code for the Pearson MyIT Lab system. So you may want to remember this. In fact, this is a good code to kind of copy to your clipboard and have handy. To begin the course, what I would really strongly recommend, and I'm not going to go through everything, but I'm just going to lay some foundation here. I would encourage you to take a moment, go through some of the introductory materials in terms of how the course works and how to get started. Most importantly, you want to come down here, click the link to the syllabus so that you understand how many assignments do I have, what are those assignments, how many points are they worth, so that you can get an idea of what you're supposed to be doing. When am I supposed to be doing those things? I have provided for you an easy printable schedule that you can use as a quick reference. We'll look at that in just a moment. And I've also provided for the MyIT Lab system a detailed sheet to help you get registered, and again to provide that course access code. Okay, so you can kind of go through and look at the rest of the material. We might come back to this page, but while we're here, I want to encourage you. Let's see if I let's see. I need to scroll down a little bit more to look in this category under assessment activities. These are things you definitely need to get on right away. In fact, you might have noticed this attendance quiz. Now, how did I get here again? I really do try to explain to you what you need to do if you'll follow the content. Just keep going through the content page by page by page. Now, from within this content, I can simply click this quiz. Some of you are more familiar with going to assessment and then quizzes. That will also take you to the exact same quiz. So whichever way you're more comfortable with, this might just be a more methodical step-by-step way. I'm going to go to this quiz. And the great thing about this quiz is you're going to earn some points by just sticking your hand up in class, in our virtual online class, and say, yes, I'm here, I'm attending. That helps me with what we call our LDAs, or it's an attendance report that the college requires of all faculty to find out what students are actively attending. And in the online environment, I just find this an easy way that is also beneficial to you. So I'm going to submit that quiz. I'm done with that quiz. Goodness, I've done it. And you can see how you keep going in and out of it because you're just answering here, right? You're just saying you're here. Okay, so let me go. These are what they call breadcrumbs up here, so you can click on them to go back. Okay, so back to the attendance report. And I also need to, it says that I'm required to create the MyIT Lab user login and all. So let's talk about that just a minute. Let's get into it. Let's see, perhaps I'll just go ahead and click on that tab, on a new tab. And if you have opened up the instructions that I mentioned, let me go back. I'm sorry, I don't want to make you dizzy, but if I go back up here, I said I actually emailed you this information, and it's contained in the course if you go through this very methodically. And that is the the MyIT Lab access code, and I'm going to click on it. Because one of the things that it says is that we highly recommend that you use either Firefox or Chrome. I like to use Chrome. And that, folks, this is the most important thing I can tell you. Enable the pop-ups in your browser. And I'm going to show you because I'm sure I will get the error message. So I'll tell you how to do that. And you can read through here and it'll tell you, just type in MyIT Lab. It again repeats our course code there, tells you what the class is going to be called. So all kinds of important information that you can get there. And okay, so it says you can type all of this or simply type MyIT Lab. I'm going to type MyIT Lab. Once you arrive at this page, you're a student, and it says you need 3 things. You need an email address, you need the instructor's course ID, and you need an access code, or that you've purchased from the bookstore, or a credit card or a PayPal account. In other words, you need a way to pay, right? So I'm going to click on OK. And it says I need my course ID code. Okay, and that's the one I copied off of our pause page. I'm going to click Continue. Now, you may have used my math lab or something like that, and if you want to continue to use that account, just kind of sign in there. I do not care which email address you use, Gmail, Hotmail, Yahoo, whatever, Ymail, so you can create a brand new ID, so however you want to do that. But this is our course, and you just want to confirm the details of that. It's the 2019 there, so that's good. Let's create one. I'm going to see if I can make up, will it let me just kind of use a made up account? That's what we're going to test and see. How about that? Now I'm going to use a really make-believe account. Use your email address as your username. Okay, that's what that's saying. You can shorten that if you want. Sometimes I just like to do that. Okay, let's see. Oh, goodness. And I'll just say this is a sample student. They have a great video that explains how to do this, but I wanted just to... I hope you know to always lie on this. Always just, they don't need that information. You accept the license. Okay, here we go. Now, this is the cost, which that's a very good. You can use the ebook, and in fact, you have to have the ebook. You may also want a printed book, but you have to have the ebook along with access to the assignments. Now, they are asking me to pay, but down here I can use the temporary 14 free days. Okay, so I'm going to do the temporary access. Are you sure? Yes, I am. And I apologize. I know my voice is a little scratchy. I have been teaching all morning, and it tends to take a toll. Okay, so once you get here, I'm going to go to my class, and remember, I only have 14 days. Now, at the end of the 14 days, your work is not lost. No worries, okay? It's just going to be frozen until such time as you pay. You won't have access to it, right? How do I upgrade? I get that question a lot. In other words, how do I go ahead and pay? Notice here at the bottom of the course tile, it says upgrade access. So at any time you can click on that link and go in and pay so that you have the full access. Hopefully you have read the syllabus to understand that rentals absolutely do not work. So don't do the rental, because the rental does not give you access to complete the assignments. Once you're inside My IT Lab, there's just a couple quick things I want to point out for our course. There's a calendar, there's lots of things to explore. I'm going to go to course materials. You want to be patient. Make sure that you're patient. It takes forever for these pages to load. Okay. All your work is organized into folders, and you can just methodically work through these folders. These folders in combination with assignments that you need to do in pause, because pause is going to keep you organized in terms of what you need to do. So under course materials, the first thing you see is ebook. Let's go into that folder as a beginning so that I can just tell you what you're going to find. First of all, you're going to find a link to the entire book. It's a thick book. It's got hundreds of pages, and we do not cover all of it. But it's great. If you want to look at the whole book, you're welcome to do that. Now, you got to have the ebook. That is hugely important, okay, because it has embedded videos and things that a printed textbook just cannot do. But some people also like to have the printed upgrade. So if you are one of those people, you click here. Now, you may have just received an error message that says that you have, and nothing happened, okay? And that would indicate that your pop-ups are blocked. And what you would do in that case is look across on your web address bar, and depending on your browser, you'll see something red. So if you're in Chrome, look over here. If you're in Firefox, look over here. And you want to click on whatever is red up there because it's trying to tell you it's blocking the pop-ups and you want to enable those pop-ups. Okay, so this popped up and it says if I want to order the print edition, that I can do that for $35. That's not bad at all. Add that to your cart, they'll ship it to your house. Very nice. Again, that's optional. Student data files, as we're working on activities, you can go through here. Notice how all these are pop-up windows. So if your pop-ups are blocked, oh my goodness, are you going to have troubles, okay? So you got to make sure that you always allow those pop-ups. Now, these are all those chapters that are in your text, and there's a lot of great stuff in that book. I love that book. But for example, we're going to start with Word. So if you did need some of the data files, this is one way to get to them. So there you go. So I'm back in my IT lab. I'm going to go back to my course. And we just explored the ebook folder. But if you're ready to get to work, don't worry about this ebook folder. Go ahead and open the Workshop 1 folder. Okay, this is the same ebook, takes you to the exact same book, but it will take you directly to the Word Chapter 1 chapter. Okay, it takes you to that page. If you want to watch a little audio PowerPoint, very nice, gives you a nice overview. And then here's one of your required assignments, which is a simulator. Okay. We'll talk about graders more a little later, but these are great things. This is the first thing you need to explore, is probably the simulator. You definitely have to access the book. Your assignments will require that. So I am going to click on the ebook. Now, it opens up this window. Again, a pop-up. I need to click that text again. Okay, it says I have got to install Flash, so I'm going to do that. You have to do that. I'm going to allow it. And again, be patient. These things take time. And I'm in the ebook, and here's my first my first chapter that we're focusing on, which is Word. Notice there are sound icons where you can read things. Notice that pages are clickable. It tells you the files that they're going to walk you through. Now I'm going to talk more about this, but I'm just kind of explaining the book to you. I can go to the next page, and it's going to tell me, I get to read a little bit. You need to read because that's going to help you with the chapter quizzes. Now it's time for me to do some work. And there are blue boxes throughout the chapter that are going to tell me this is exactly what I need to do. But you know the old adage that a picture is worth 1,000 words? Well, a video must be worth 1,000,000. Because if I don't really get what they're telling me to do, or I just simply want to see it, that's what this icon is for. And you'll see this with each blue box. So I'm going to click on that. Notice it popped up in another window, so make sure those pop-ups are enabled. And what this is going to do, you notice it's very short,
Microsoft
only a couple
Word
minutes.
2016.
And I'm going to
Chapter
skip
1
ahead
for
if I can
2016.
here. It's
The
going
Word
to
Start
show me, it's kind of hard to be recording a video and playing a video,
drive,
so bear with
your hard
me.
drive, or other
It's going to
web
show me
locations.
exactly
The right
what
pane
steps
enables you to select
the
a new
book
blank document or choose
is
from a
telling
variety
me
of
to
templates.
do. So just exactly these written steps that is what is displayed in the video. So I can do it along with the video, I can pause the video, I can rewind, but I've got step-by-step instructions here for what I need to do. Okay? So I'm going to stop that. That's the importance of your textbook. And we'll come back to that, okay? But I'm giving you kind of the big picture, which is that you went into My IT Lab and you registered, and that was one of your required assignments. So hopefully, as you've gone through the Getting Started materials here, and you've looked at your assigned activities, hopefully you have completed your attendance quiz. You did what I just did, which was create my 14-day free trial, understanding that I am going to have to pay for access later. And now it's time for me to do my class introduction. So I'm going to click on that, and I'm into the pause discussion board, and look at these wonderful, I'm just going to scroll past those wonderful students who have already been out there making their introductions. And so I love that. That's fantastic. Okay, so if you have completed all those assigned activities, the final thing I want to do is tell you how to get started in your first chapter. And so here's Word Module 1, Workshop 1. So your book is divided into modules, and within the modules there are workshops. Okay, so we're going to cover 3 different software applications. We're going to cover Word, we're going to cover Excel, and we're going to cover PowerPoint. For Word, there are 2 modules, Module 1, Module 2. For Excel, Module 1, Module 2. For PowerPoint, Module 1, Module 2. Within each module, there are workshops. For Module 1, Workshop 1, 2. For Module 2, Workshop 3, 4. Okay, here's what we're doing. Word, 1, 2, 3, 4. Excel, Workshop 1, Workshop 2, Workshop 3, Workshop 4. Same for PowerPoint, okay? So, I'm in Word Module 1, and I'm looking through the content, and I should read the student outcomes. I may want to watch the narrated slides, but I am required, here's the assigned activities, to complete the Word 1 quiz. As I work on the quiz, if I just open that, and I'm going to go ahead and start it, I may not know the answers to these questions, but I can find them by reading the pages of the text. You may want to search. You've got a great search box up here. You may want to search for answers for those quizzes. This is all how-to stuff, but there is reading. Let me go through here. Different things that you may want to read. You know, what is block, what is semi-block. And so these are going to be things that are going to appear on the quiz in pause. So I'm back in pause, okay? Once you answer the quiz questions, I'm going to close that if I can. If you did not get the grade that you want, repeat the quiz. Repeat the quiz. A nice thing about going to assessment and then quizzes is that it becomes very easy to see information like this, that you have unlimited attempts on these quizzes. Now the attempts are unlimited up until the due date. Up until the due date. Once the due date passes, it's closed. Okay? I'm going to go back to content, because from the content I understood that for the Word Module 1, Workshop 1, I needed to do the quiz. Now, I also, it says here, need to do a simulator, and it tells me that that is in My IT Lab, and I'm trying to remind you to enable pop-ups, and if you don't know how to complete the simulators, and if you've never done one, you probably don't know how, I have provided a link to a video created by Pearson that tells you some really great tips. It's not just about how to click it and get into the simulators.
Hi there, this is Armand, and I'm a student at the University of Cincinnati. For the next few minutes, I'm going to introduce you to...
Yeah, that one's kind of weird, and then they updated it apparently, and so it goes directly into this longer, more detailed, this 8-minute. Sorry, I know that's a little strange.
I'm going to introduce you to T will allow you many different ways to complete a task and get it correct.
Okay.
If you run out of attempts in a training activity, the simulation will automatically ask you to launch the practice learning aid. When you complete a task correctly, a message will appear saying, "Question complete," and the simulation will move to the next question.
Okay, so it's going to take you through all of that. And they mentioned learning aids, and you're going to love those. Okay, so I encourage you, when I say to do the simulator, if you don't know how to do it, watch that video. As always, if you have an issue with my IT lab, contact their technical support, and I've put a link in there for that also. Well, so I know I need to go to my IT lab to do this simulator. I have already registered into my IT lab. I've been looking at the text and the course materials, and when I looked at the course materials, I saw this Word Chapter 1 simulator. So if I click on that, now I was in my IT lab, and here's my simulator, and I can start working on the tasks. And one thing, I'm not going to go through it completely because the video shows you this, you may want to explore is these learning aids. You can read, you can watch a long video, or you can watch a short video. That's what practice is. Learning aids practice.
In the Windows 10 desktop, click the Start button.
Okay, so see what the practice does? It's actually telling me what to do.
On the Start menu, click All Apps.
Now, here's the problem.
Click
Don't just
Word
click
2016.
without paying attention, because you are going to have to do this for yourself. Okay? This was just a demonstration.
Blank document.
Now, I'm sorry, let me get to the end of this. Okay, so now the practice is complete. Now you're going to have to do it yourself. So if you didn't remember what to click as you were going through that, then you would be in trouble. So you have to make sure that you're paying attention for the purpose of learning. Okay? Now also make real sure that you're following all the instructions in this little box, and that when you do and you fully complete it, and it'll tell you that you fully completed the task, that you go on to the next task and then submit. So take some time to familiarize yourself with that. I'm going to close that. Yeah, I'm going to leave this site. Okay, so e-text, the audio PowerPoints, and the simulator. And I'm going to hold off on these greater projects for now. And I'm going to close, well, maybe I shouldn't have closed the ebook. Okay, so I'm going to keep that there for the moment. Okay, so back in pause, which is telling me what I need to do step by step. And I know from my assigned activities that I had to do that quiz, and I did that. I know I had to do the simulator, and now it's time to do Word Case 1. And you can see, I can already see some of the steps. If I want to just make sure I can get to everything, I need to click on this link. Okay, so make sure you click on that link. Now the first thing it tells me is that I have some starter files. These are the files that I'm going to work on throughout the assignment. So if I scroll down, only then will I see those assignments. And I right clicked on that, but you might need, I just clicked on it. You're going to have to save these to your desktop. Okay, you cannot work on them from this link. You're going to have to save it. Make sure you pay attention to where you save it. And notice that the final products require you, that you're going to submit, is what I mean when I say products, require you to name the file with your last name and first name. Okay? So what am I supposed to do? I don't get it. I don't understand. Well, save those files to your desktop, open My IT Lab and log in, enter your course materials, make sure you enable pop-ups, and go to the Word Chapter 1 e-text. Okay, I remember that. That was here in the Word folder under course materials. It popped up boxes. I had to keep clicking. It drove me crazy, but I did it anyway. And now I'm just going to start following those instructions. So I'm going to go through, I'm going to read, because hopefully I did that to answer the quiz questions, and I'm going to start following these instructions. When I don't know what to do, I'm going to play the video, right? And I'm just going to keep going through and completing all these steps. And it says here in pause that I have to complete all the pages, the assignment, the steps on every page is 126 through 164. So I'm on page 130 now. I keep doing these steps. These are not steps. I would just read about those, but I would continue on until I get to some more steps. And so you're really guided by your book through everything that you need to know. And as you complete all of those steps, what you're going to need to do for this particular assignment, make sure you have all your files. You're going to upload them into this Dropbox, and then of course you're going to submit them to complete the work. Go back to assigned activities. Just make sure that you've completed all the required activities. When you have, continue on to Word Module 2, or I'm sorry, Word Module 1 Workshop 2. Okay? You see for each chapter the steps that you're going through. And we'll talk about the additional assignments later on. I hope this helps make you feel a little bit more comfortable in the course so that you get registered. You make sure you get those early points by recording your attendance. I know this video is getting long, but at 25 minutes, but I've enjoyed meeting you. And if you can communicate with me via email, I'm happy to answer your questions. In this online environment, email is a great way. When I'm in class, even during office hours, you're not always available during my office hours because I'm sure you work and you have other classes as well. So email is really the best way for us to proceed. All right, appreciate you, and get working. And if you have questions, please reach out via email. Thank you.